Hi, so
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I see
You
you.
didn't get my emails? My email
I did
and
get
my text
your email, yes. But to be
message.
honest, I haven't looked at it. I did get your message, but I figured I would deal with the message in the class.
Okay.
Because I guess everybody might benefit from it as well. But help me out with tell me about the situation again with the images, the low quality.
When I upload now, either import or drag, it seems more blurry than it's supposed to be.
It seems more blurry than it's supposed to be.
I don't know if it's the picture I put up, but I think I compared it. Or maybe it's my computer that have a low resolution.
Probably not. Where did you get the image from that you were working with?
Remember, I talking about the one we did the one you had in class, the same flower and the apple.
Right. So you got the image from Google.
Yeah. And then I would
Are you able to share your screen with us by any chance? No, not
computer.
Okay, that's fine. I have an idea what the issue is. Let me share my screen with you and let's see if we can do that. Okay.
I saw something or I YouTube. So I saw something else talking about the change in the resolution from 72 to 300.
Yes, but if you're working with a bad quality image to start with, changing the resolution is not going to give you a good quality image to continue.
Right.
If you understand what I mean, right?
Some of them I noticed that it didn't really do anything. So what I did was take a photo I had on my computer of myself, a picture, and that looked fine. Whether I zoomed in or not, it was very clean.
But then the one that you got from Google was not, right?
Right.
Okay. So good afternoon, everybody else that just came in. Sorry, we was having a conversation with all you guys. How is everybody doing?
I'm good. And you? Everybody else?
Cool. Okay, so what I'm addressing is Naomi had an issue with the quality of the images that she saved from the internet. And we're gonna see if I can address that. Okay, so Naomi, when you save in an image, everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so when you're looking for images on Google, you're going to get mainly web images. That's the primary sort of results you're going to get. And web images, we know, have a resolution of how much? What's the resolution of web images?
It's 300.
No, not 300.
72.
72, right? Which is very low resolution, right? So if you're gonna be looking for graphics from the internet to print, you need to ensure that they're of a certain size that you can compensate for the loss you're going to experience in quality. So let me show you a few things that you can do. One, when you're making your searches on Google, you typically just do a search and you get some results like this, right? You're actually able to go into tools for Google and change its size. Typically, it looks for any size. And you can change that to large. Large will show you images that are basically large of a higher resolution. So in other words, if you look at this particular rows I have selected here, the size or the resolution in terms of height and width is 1,747 pixels by 1,248 pixels. Now, let me just go back to any size and let me find a small one. Such probably large.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. So compare that with a rose like this, which has a size of 256 pixels by 256 pixels. All right. Now that one, as you can tell, is much smaller. But the size of the image is not the only important factor. I'll show you what I mean. So coming back to this rose, I can save it from here, right? And it's going to save the full image for me because it's loaded. Or what I typically do is I open it in a new tab so I can see what it looks like in its full size, right? And then save it from here. Now you go into save it and then open it up in Photoshop. Now, when you open it up in Photoshop, how you can tell the size is you go to the image menu and you click on image size. So the size of that particular image is 5.8 inches by 4.16 inches, but it has a resolution of 300 pixels per inch. So that's pretty big, right? Now, if you were doing a search, all right? Let me do a different example. Let me do a car. All right, I'm going for a large one. Let me show you what sometimes happens. All right, that didn't happen. But sometimes your image is actually still loading in the browser. So you see it's actually blurry in the browser. Sorry, it's got an error there. It's actually blurry in the browser, or you see the little loading bar, loading the image still in the background. If you happen to save the image at that time, it's actually going to save, but it's going to save the preview image and not the full size image. That may be the issue that you're having, right? So here's what I can suggest you do again. You can try again, right? Do the same search again, find the same image, try saving it again this time. When you bring it in, it should be at a better resolution. It's probably just because the image didn't finish loading before you saved it. Yeah?
Okay, I just did. The only difference is instead of clicking on the image in the page, I put it in a new tab and it opened out fine. So I guess that's probably what I should do.
Well, usually I open it in a new tab and that allows me to see if it has been fully loaded. If it hasn't been fully loaded, when it opens up in a new tab, what you're going to see is still the same small blurry thumbnail image and not the full quality image, right? So, but you don't actually have to open it in a new tab. You can actually save it right from here if you go save image as. But my preference is I usually open a new tab first so I can see what I'm working with and then save it from it. Either way should work fine for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So good afternoon again, everybody. Hope everybody's doing fine. You guys had a good weekend. Your week started off okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. You guys had a little bit of homework for me. You guys remember what it was?
No, honestly.
No? How many people had finished their shape scene for me? I had seen, Nami, I know I had seen yours. Let me see if I can pull it up for the rest of us to see. Yeah, it's gonna download it. All right. Okay. And does anybody have any questions on anything that we've been doing so far? Anything that we've done in the previous classes? No?
You talking from last week?
Excuse me?
The homework you're talking about is that one that you're showing right now?
No. I was just going, I may send me afterwards, but I'll ask you guys to look into something for me.
Yeah, that. I can't remember what it was.
No, you can't remember. All right, no problem. Let's continue anyway. Today, we're going to move on to something different. We're going to look at working with text or working with type, right? And as you might expect, that's something that you do on a regular basis once you work with Adobe Photoshop. Now, I'm sure all of you are comfortable by now, even though we haven't done it, with inserting text into a document. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So just as a refresher for you guys, I am going to go through two ways that you can add text to your document and a few things that you can do with text in your document. Okay. If you find that I'm going too fast for you for any reason, feel free to stop me. And if you have any questions, just let me know. So when we talk about text or type, we basically refer to inserting words into our document, and we do so with our type tool, right? Which we can find on the toolbar, it's shaped like a T. All right. Now, if we press and hold, we have the option to select the horizontal type tool, which will type text going across your screen horizontally, or you can select the vertical type tool, which will type text vertically. Just to give you an example of that. So if I click with the type tool, what's going to happen is in CC 2019, you're going to have dummy text inserted, right? Lorem ipsum. It shows you what your current font settings looks like, so you can adjust it as needed. Let's do some quick adjustments. All right. Type horizontal text. All right. So this is what your horizontal text looks like. If you were to use the vertical type tool, it will allow you to create vertical type or vertical text. Again, if I click, dummy text get inserted, shows me the current settings, and I can type vertical, right? So this text was created with the horizontal type tool, and this one was created with the vertical type tool. Everybody got that? Yes? Now,
Yes, sir.
all right. Now, when people tell you about horizontal and vertical text, or more than likely vertical text, they could either mean two things. They could mean that the text is typed vertically, like this, or they could mean that the type is text horizontally, but arranged vertically on your document, like this. So just so you know, it could mean two things, vertical text, right? So you're aware of that when you're communicating with your clients and with other designers as to what exactly you want to accomplish for design. All right. So for now, we're going to only look at the horizontal text, as that's the one that you want to like be working with. And that's the one that will get you not bending your head on one side or the other. Okay. So just make that a little bit bigger. And we're gonna put that as our head. So again, how do we insert the text into our document? Can anybody tell me? I showed you one already. Can anybody tell me quickly how to insert text in my document right now?
With the text tool.
Right. So I have the type tool selected. What now?
Type tool. And then you either choose vertical or horizontal based on the orientation.
All right. So we have horizontal type tool. What next? What's the next step?
Yes, just start typing.
Start typing? No, we have to do something first. We have to click on our document. Yeah. So I'm going to click right now, regular click on the document. And this is what happens. Everybody get that?
That always shows up. That didn't show up for me. I just started typing and it just started typing. I may click on the document and just start typing.
Oh, you clicked on the document and you started typing?
What version of
Photoshop do you have?
CC 2019? Yeah.
Yes, by default, when you click with the 2019, as long as you click, it inserts default text for you. There may be a way to disable it, but by default, it should show up like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? And then you can just start typing. So type your text. Yeah. Text.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And that's in terms of the fonts available. Now, if you want to expand that, how would you do that?
To make the text bigger?
No, the fonts that are available.
Oh, the fonts that are available. To increase the fonts that are available, you would essentially need to download fonts and add them to your font collection. So So basically you would find a website. Let me just run through that with you quickly. My go-to font website, you can see my screen, right? Still?
Yes.
Okay, my go-to font website is dafont.com. There are tons of font websites you can go to online. A lot of them will have free fonts, some of them will have paid fonts, some of them will have fonts that you can try out. But I typically go straight to this site. It hasn't failed me much in the past, right? And you can search for fonts in a number of different categories, right? A number of different styles, but they typically have featured fonts. I'm going to just use the very first font that I can find on the website right now. It's behind the scenery, right? You see we have the download button, but before we go there, I'm gonna click and we can type in a text. We get a preview of what it's looking like, assuming that we know that what we're looking for font for a particular purpose, right? Then we can download the font file, which you'll get a compressed file with the font included. And we can simply uncompress it, open up the font file, which will be something like this, and install. Everybody see the install button right here? Click install. Quick dialog popped up. Sorry, it popped up on my second screen, so you didn't see it. But once that happens, the font is installed. With Photoshop CC 2019 and up, you don't have to restart Photoshop to use the text. You just really need to know the name. So it's called Behind the Scenery. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just select the right layer. I'm going to be doing most of the text manipulation today using my character panel or my character palette, but you can also do a lot of it from the type properties bar that shows up once you have the type tool selected as well. All right. And then let's get that selected and change the font to Behind the Scenery. Right, and that's it. That's how you add fonts to your computer collection. Straightforward enough?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I have a collection of over 3,000 fonts, which can get problematic at times. I started out very early days collecting, and my advice to you is there are so many fonts available that it's not wise to try and keep every single one on your computer. So, you know, be a little bit prudent when you're exercising your download options, right? You know, the internet, there's no shortage of things to overwhelm you. Okay. All right, so everybody understands how to increase the fonts on their computer.
Yes.
We know how to create text, which is basically we select the type tool and we click and type our text. Now, this type of text, or this type of layer, rather, if you notice when you click, your text appears in a new layer on your layers palette. And this type of text is called freeform text, meaning you can type as much as you want. The text is just going to keep running to the end of the page, and it's not going to go into a new line until you press the Enter key and continue, right? Everybody understand that? But there are times when we have a specific area for our text to fit it within. So let me just give you an example. So let's suppose we have this area. Get it in a different color so we can see the text, right? We have this area on a document. It's a random area, don't worry about it. But we only want our text to fall within that specified area, right? What we can do is, and especially if the area is a square or a rectangle, we can use a text box. You guys should be familiar with creating text boxes, right? Text boxes is what you create most likely in Paint and most of the other simple image editing applications, right? So I'm going to click, but I'm not going to click within the area right now. I'm going to click outside and click and drag to draw a box. Right? Now notice it fills it up completely with the dummy text. It just adds as much dummy text as you need. Right? The difference with the text box as opposed to the freeform text is as you type, the text box has a predefined size. So it knows when it gets to the end of the text box that it should automatically continue typing on the next line, right? So you see it just hyphenates, puts a hyphen, and it continues my very long word on the next line, all right? So if you want to, sorry, again, just to move it. So you know you want your text to fit only within this box, right? You draw your text box the size of your area, and let's make the text a little bit smaller so we can get a few more lines in. All right, and you type. Oh, it's too small. Right. So you guys get the idea. That is the difference between freeform text and creating a text box. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
No. All right. Let me show you something else. With freeform text, if you want to make it bigger, you can make it bigger just like a regular layer, meaning you can just click on the bounding box and drag to resize, right? Now in CC 2019, it should resize proportionally by default, but if you want to stretch it one way or another, you can hold down the Shift key on your keyboard. So if I hold Shift, I'm able to stretch it, right? Or squeeze it rather than just resize it proportionally. Everybody sees that? If I release Shift, it's going to resize it proportionally, meaning it will increase the height, the same ratio as the width increases so that your text isn't stretched or squeezed one way or the other. Everybody get that right? Now, with your text box, you can resize it similar, right? Meaning you can click on the box and drag to make the text bigger or smaller, right? But there's also another way that you can manipulate it. And if you have your text currently being edited, your text box is still shown. And if you were to resize your box at this point, what it does is it changes the area that your text is allowed to fill, all right? Rather than change the size of the text. Everybody sees that? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So that is your basic freeform text and text box. No questions on that. We can move on, right? Okay. The next option you have in working with text is you can type within a path. Now, I know that was a square and I showed you how to do a text box. But for this example, I'm going to delete this square and I'm going to replace it, I have the option, with a circle or a circle-ish object anyway. Just give me a second, all right. Once again, I'm gonna change the color to something that we can see our black text on. So let's go with yellow. Sorry guys, my computer is running a little bit slow. I have a few things running as well as Zoom. So, all right. The next way that you can use the type tool is type within a path, all right? Now, if you have a path like this circle, normally if you put your type tool over your document, you get that icon with the type tool and the square box around it, which will allow you to click to create freeform text or click and drag to create a text box, right? But if you were to put your cursor directly over the shape, notice it changes to a circle around the insertion icon, right? And that is my type within a path tool. So if I were to click now within the path, right, it actually maps out the areas of the path that I'm able to type in. Let me just bring down the font size. And it allows me to type exactly within those areas without going beyond the boundaries of the path, or the shape in this case. Everybody sees that? So
Yes.
that's it with a circle. I'm gonna do it again with a custom shape. The circle may not illustrate exactly. So I'm going to create a custom shape with the pen tool, right? Okay, don't ask me what shape that is. It is the one that I made today, all right? Let's give it a different color. All right, so once again, using the type tool, we go over our shape. We ensure that the cursor changes to the type within a path, right? And we click, it automatically again figures out what is the type area, and it creates an appropriate type area. Let me reduce the size so we can see the text fit a little bit. Sorry, let me do that again. Let me just do that again with the smaller text so we can get it to fill up the entire thing. Okay, everybody sees that? So that is the type within a path. So you can actually adjust your text to follow and to fit within any shape or any area. All right. So once we do that, we confirm, and no real text to read here, but we can see what the text looks like. All right. Notice some areas it's not able to fill up because of the text, so it sort of leaves it blank. And in your designing, you'll have to figure out the best way to deal with that. But at least it deals with the basic shape, getting the text in the shape. Everybody got that?
Yep.
Okay. Let me show you one more way that you can put text onto your document. And again, we're gonna go back to a circle. Why I'm using different shapes is so that you can see the effect of the text on the different objects, okay? Or the effect of the object rather on the text. So let's go back to, all right. The last option I'm gonna show you is the type on path, all right, tool. So the last tool was type within a path. So it uses the path to constrain the text, right? This one is type on path, and it actually will allow you to follow a path with your text. So I'm gonna click again, and this is my dummy text. So we have text that follows an oval L, all right? Let me just, again, make it a bit smaller so you can see what it looks like. All right. Sorry, waiting for my computer to respond. So guys, here we have text that follows an oval. Skip that. Push it forward. Sorry. Now, it was now having a little bit of difficulties. There's a small lag in my computer. So right now it's thinking I'm dragging when I'm not. It's probably because of the Zoom connected at the same time that I'm trying to do this. It's coming. All right, guys, let me take that again. So type 2. Right, we ensure that because of changes, notice it changes to the insertion icon with a little path, a little squiggly path next to it. Sorry, I clicked in the wrong spot again. It's not where I was supposed to click. All right, so right here, everybody see the icon? And we click. All right. Text. And that creates text going around the path, basically following the path. Yes? Now that's it with a circle. Let me use again a different path. Let me just use a rectangle so you can see the effects. Let's use a polygon. Okay, I don't know why that takes so long to draw, but anyway, go in one more time, type 2. We're gonna type on the path. And this is what it would look like following a polygon. Let's just make the polygon invisible at this point. This is our text there. All right. Everybody understand what we've been doing so far?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
So what I've showed you is 4 different ways to insert type into your documents to give you 4 different formats of text, right? The first one is freeform text, and you do that by, can somebody tell me how do you create the freeform text? Anybody? You guys want me to volunteer somebody to try? No? Autumn, what about you? Can you tell me how we create freeform text?
well, you can use the text tool, and you choose if you want it horizontal or vertical,
right?
And then you click in the document and
Right.
type.
Right, and then that's it. You just click in the document, click, and your freeform text is created. Then you can type whatever you want. When you're done, click confirm. The second option was to create a text box. I want somebody else to tell me how we create a text box. Kadisha, you want to try? I can hear you. No?
You can't hear me? You couldn't hear me?
Yeah, I couldn't. I can hear you now though.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you click on the shape tool.
The type tool.
Design, yes. No, for the when you what did you ask?
Box. We want to create a text box, yeah.
Yes. So you use the shape tool, right?
The shape tool,
and
no,
then
the type tool. The text
the
tool.
type tool.
And then
I thought you use the shape tool to create a shape, and then you type.
Okay. No, that is the type within a shape, and your shape
Type
can
within.
be right. But if you create in a text box, what you would do is with the type tool selected, you would click and drag to draw a box
And then-
with the type tool. And that creates a text box that you can now put your text within.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So free from type
Okay.
and text box. And then you sort of give us the third one, which is type within a path. So first we would need to have a path, right? I'm gonna use that same polygon. And
Yes.
we would use our type tool, put it over the path. We would get the type within a path, which is the insertion point of the circle, the marching and circle around it, the dotted circle, sorry, around it. And we click within the shape to type within a path.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Somebody else tell me the last option, which is type on a path. How do we type on a path? Naomi, you want to try?
You after you create the shape,
Yeah, the
then
path.
you would use that same sliding icon. I don't know how to describe it, but then you just click on that and start.
Right. So you would need to position your cursor over the path, which is
The edge, yes.
right, the border of the shape, and
Right.
you would get the type on path, which is the insertion point with the little squirrely line, and then you would click, and it would detect the path and type on the path.
Right.
All right.
Before I go, I wondered about, because I noticed for the size of the font, it only shows 72.
It only shows 72?
Maximum, sorry.
Oh, yes, but you can type in any figure that you want in there. So it only goes to 72 as a maximum for you to click and select. But if you want to make, for instance, let me just show you. So let's do it in the options bar. It might be easier to see. So it goes all the way up to 72 here. But I can type in, say, 300. Right, and get my text as big as this. Right? Or alternatively, you don't have to type the size. You can always just scale it up the same way you would resize any other object. Scale it up to whatever size you want without worrying about what size the text on a whole is. All right?
Okay.
Okay, guys. So we have just about 2 minutes. Let's take a break right now. It's 11 past 5. Short break. We'll come back at 5:15. So 3 minutes break. That'll be okay for everybody?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll take a 3 minutes break. We'll come back and we'll continue working with type. We'll look at the other different things that you can do with it and ways that we can manipulate it further. All right. If anybody has any questions or anything, you can just make a note of it and we can discuss it when we get back in. All right. So I'll see you guys in 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right.